This is Fritz Frivolous with continuous live coverage of the corner of Curious Lane and Just Because Boulevard, the epicenter of the alien invasion. And this just in, King Kong is fighting the Mobile Suit Gundam. And of course, all of this is happening amidst World War IV, making it pure pandemonium. If only Captain Planet were still alive to save us all. Dude, could you imagine? You're dead, and yet you awaken in a cold, dark tomb. You lift the heavy stone lid from your sarcophagus, only to find jade jars with intricate designs and hieroglyphs containing the mummified remains of your organs. With the little vision you have, you look at your hands to see that they have been wrapped along with the rest of your body, and you realize you are now a mummy. More than a few hundred years have passed. You do not recognize your surroundings. How would you react? What would you do? Let us lift the curse from our two malevolent mummies, Will and Tom, as they search the Book of Amun-Ra for answers. Welcome back, everybody. This is Tom Case.
This is Will Stark.
Will, this is our second
Halloween Deadcast.
And this question came about to me when I was thinking about if there was an afterlife, how disorienting it probably would be if you died, right? Especially if you died in horrible conditions, but just dying itself, right? Because even if you died in the best way, which is, I guess you would hope to just maybe die in your sleep, right? As a peaceful way.
So, sure.
Like waking up not in the same bed you were probably in would be very disorienting.
Yeah, I would imagine it would be.
But I thought one way would be even more disorienting than that. Mm-hmm. And that is, what if you died, then awakened as a mummy?
So like an actual mummy. Like,
yeah,
I'm not just wrapped up in a sarcophagus. Like they've ripped my brain through my nose and embalmed me.
And all your other organs as well.
This sucks.
Yeah, but you don't have them in you, but they're going to be next to you in jars.
Great. I got to look at them. That's cool.
Yeah. You know what?
Taunting me now.
Yeah, exactly. They're in childproof jars. They're in little sippy cups, so if you knock them over, they can't spill out.
So I am undead. I'm undead.
You would be undead, okay. And we're gonna go with what I feel like most people recognize with mummification, because the ancient Egyptians weren't the only ones, to do that.
No,
but not only that, actually, even the ancient Egyptians, they would do that on purpose for obvious religious beliefs and everything like that. But mummies can be created even in other ways. You know what I mean? Like if accidentally you were set out in the cold, technically, if you were preserved, people would also view that as a mummy or that mummification. Yeah.
Really?
So some scientists don't believe that mummification is just done on purpose with chemicals.
I thought mummification was essentially a religious or ceremonial process.
Yeah, that's what some still believe that. But let's go to the Fritz facts.
Okay.
Fritz facts.
So,
because wouldn't you just be preserved rather than mummified?
So that's what the issue is going on. They say, this is what I got from the little bit of research I did.
Okay.
A mummy is a dead human or an animal whose soft tissues and organs have been preserved by either intentional or accidental exposure to chemicals, extreme cold, very low humidity, or lack of air, so that the recovered body does not decay further if kept in a cool and dry conditions.
Interesting.
So then it goes, some authorities restrict the use of the term to bodies deliberately embalmed with chemicals, but the use of the word to cover accidentally desiccated bodies go back to at least 1615 AD.
Okay, so but what you're asking me is what if I was
yours
embalmed
is going to be
in the
done,
ancient Egyptian fashion,
in that
as
fashion,
if I was a pharaoh.
Exactly.
Here's a question: do I get buried with all my belongings? So it's my guitar there?
Yes.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because in case others may not know who are listening, yes, the ancient Egyptians did believe if you were buried with certain personal items or whatever, you can bring them with you to the afterlife, which is also kind of in the same lines of when people would offer up sacrifices or food or whatever, they would leave at like the altar of like someone's dead.
Right.
That's the same belief, is that they can take that and bring it with them to the afterlife.
Despite the fact that a rut's right there.
Yeah, I know. Right?
Anyways, I guess the first emotion I'm feeling is anger, because this is definitely not how I wanted to spend my afterlife that I didn't know even existed until this very moment. I guess the next thing I'm pushing my stone sarcophagus open, right? I'm getting out.
Oh my God. I just imagine the person who discovers you, they're going to freak the fuck out.
Oh, I know. Seriously. The next thing I do is look around. Am I actually in some sort of ancient temple?
No, but you are in, let's say, like a mausoleum type structure. You know what I mean? Like it's like have you ever seen like in a graveyard? It looks like a small little stone building.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's like that, right?
Okay.
Like a little...
So I'm in some sort of like actual place where they put bodies.
Yeah.
All right.
You're not in a, some inner sanctum of a pyramid or other type of like, yeah.
I guess I'm going to look at my guitar.
Oh, okay.
How badly weathered is it? How long have I been in here? Are the strings rusted?
You know what? I'm going to say you probably been in there for at least a few hundred years. So I don't know if the strings,
Christ.
You probably know more about the guitar strings than I do. What kind of what can they hold up to? Can they even, if nobody touched them?
My question, is it exposed to elements? Like does it get wet?
No, you are in a structure where if it rains or something like that, it's most likely there's no leak. There's not a leak or whatever.
What's the humidity levels?
But there, it would be affected to that kind of thing. I would say it's fairly humid where it can be during certain times of the year.
Okay. So it's going to be hard for me to tell because my strings are probably rusted and snapped.
Okay. It's like, let's say the weather is comparable to how it is here in our undisclosed location.
Okay. Well, you just said I was in here for a couple hundred years. So at this point, it's theoretically 23 something.
Yeah.
Do I walk out into a wasteland of death? Like, is the ocean at, like, by where my grave is?
No, I'm going to say, society has fared pretty well and have not fixed those type problems 100%, but you're not by you don't have an ocean view at your cemetery.
After 200 years, I hope we figure something out.
Yeah, I know, right?
Okay, so I'm in the far future at this point. Like, we're talking like I don't even know.
Like,
I don't know.
Maybe
Blade
something
Runner shit.
like a Blade Runner, like Minority Report.
Okay. All right. Okay.
That kind of.
So do I walk out and do I see like crazy structures and stuff? Am I like blown away?
Yeah, probably.
Am I like, what year is it?
Probably.
Okay.
I would have imagined you would look at this, you would look at these buildings and the technological advancements of mankind, which this is definitely not a dystopia.
I think at this point, I would think I was in a nightmare. I wouldn't be convinced I was actually experiencing this stuff.
Now, what about like, I would assume that when you pushed open the lid to your sarcophagus, that you probably noticed your wrappings and things like that. Would you not automatically think that though? Like,
think what?
Like, oh, I'm dead and this is
no, I would first think I'm having a nightmare. I mean, as time goes on, obviously it's gonna sink in. Like, how do I look? Am I all like super, like, I don't know how to describe it other than like fucked up looking?
That's very good.
In the facial area.
That's very astute, William. You are very fucked up looking. that is.
Can I speak?
Okay, this is what I wanted to bring up.
Did
you've seen the Mummy, right?
Yes.
The one with Brendan Fraser?
Yes, of course I have.
It's like that. Okay. So, in order for you to go ahead and
I have to take it from others. No, I'm not going to do that. It's so
you're
stupid.
going to have to gain them back.
Do I have powers? Well, like emo type?
Kind of like emo type.
Like I can like open my mouth super wide and spit out so many insects.
You have powers of that would have affected the surroundings you were buried in.
What does that mean?
So like, because like he was buried mostly, it's like all desert and sand.
Okay.
So he has that. But like, I imagine of where we live in this undisclosed location, yours is probably going to be more towards, let's say different types of grasses and
I'm a grass mummy.
This is
Jesus Christ.
You know what I mean?
Leaves
and yeah, exactly. Leaves and
so I'm some sort of like nature spirit now. Apparently,
certain trees.
Can I do the thing he does in the Mummy 2 where he makes himself look all handsome when he's super not in real life? I feel like it's all an illusion.
Well, that was done by him getting.
Wait, he had to take the body parts.
He had to
for
take
that shit?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Huh.
Yeah, that's where I got that. But the reason
I wouldn't even know I could do that. By the way, I figured this is life now, so I wouldn't even know.
Well, that's a good thing you bring up, because like you might not know, and if that were true and that were to happen, like imagine just not knowing, and if you did want to try to communicate, you know what I mean. But the reason I brought that up was because of the fact of that when they do this mummification and embalming process, like they are taking out these other organs and stuff. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they take out your tongue.
Okay.
When they do that. That's why I was saying.
So I can't talk. I'm undead and hideous looking. It's the far future where we've kind of figured out global warming, but apparently not all the way.
Yeah. Enough that's survivable for humans.
I think I'm in a nightmare because none of this makes any sense. And so I think I'm going to do like the dumb thing and like stumble out of my grave and like try and get someone to help me, and they're going to call the police, and then they're going to call, shitless. I don't fucking know who you call in this time period. I don't even know if this is the United States anymore. But yeah, that's true. But it might not be. Some sort of authority is probably going to come for me, and then I'm at their mercy until I figure out my insect breathing powers.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, and so you can defend yourself, at that point.
So I figure, like, if they're mistreating me, I might get enraged, right? So much so that I scream, so much so that I reflexively
probably invoke
the plagues upon them. What were you going to say?
I felt like, we did kind of skip over two things. The thing about, like, where, if you were so disoriented, I guess what we didn't really kind of factor in is like, I guess, what would we figure how you died, right? And if these few hundred years that traversed, would that have felt like nothing to you? Would you not have known what would your last memories be of when you died?
Okay, if I wake up fully fucking mummified, it's gotta be a cult got me, right? A cult super got me. Like maybe I'm just, Joe Schmuck, but for some reason, like there's something about maybe the day I was born or something where I fall under some sort of auspicious sign. Oh, that's and the cult has finally found me, and they get me when I'm pumping up the gas in my car on my way to work. And I disappear, and they did some sort of ritual on me.
They sacrificed you?
They sacrificed me to their dark fucking gods, and embalmed me.
To Asmodeus?
In this stupid mausoleum. And now, it's a far future. My probably great grandson's somewhere out there, and I'm a fucking mummy.
Wow, you know what? I didn't think about that. Would you try to contact anyone if you can somehow find that there is a relative?
Okay, so let's say it's 200 years, and somehow I know it's been 200 years. I think the one thing I'm probably going to try and do is see if somewhere between the years of, I don't know, 2055 and 2075 or 2080 or 90 or whatever, they figured out a way to extend human life, because then there might be just the absolute slimmest chance that my kids are still out there. And if they are, kids, I would want to find them. If it's past that, I don't give a fuck. I don't know you. I don't know you. You're my great grandson. You might as well be a fucking stranger to me. Yeah, that is true. Someone you never met. You never seen. You have nothing. I have nothing in common. Unless, like, it would be uncanny. Have you ever seen? There's this show. It's an Australian show. It's called Glitch. No, it's on Netflix. Okay. Premise of the show, strikingly reminiscent of what we're talking about here. I think it's like 7 or 8 random bodies out of the cemetery wake up and come out of the ground, and they're not undead or anything. They're themselves, and they're alive. And the last thing they remember is like them dying. And the thing is, it's across like a bunch of different ethnicities, completely unconnected people, and completely different time periods. There's some men that have been born back in like the early 1800s, and some in the 1950s, and some literally last year died, and like it's all over the place. Their bodies aren't messed up. Like they're just as if they had never died. Oh, so like there's a girl from the 80s who's like 18. She's still 18. But anyways, one of the people who comes up from the ground is a really old man. Right, he's like mid 60s, maybe early 70s, and he is actually the founder of the town itself. And he runs into his great grandson. And because they're blood related, like I guess in his time that mattered more. So he's like, he's with this kid. And like, this kid's like, dude, I barely know you. He's like, no, you're my blood. So this is kind of similar to that, except for I'm roles reversed. I don't give a shit about you. I don't know you.
You're like, yeah.
But anyways, Glitch. It's actually a pretty cool show.
That actually sounds cool.
Yeah, the main character is a cop who his wife died 2 years ago. And she comes back, but he's already married, except for he ended up marrying her best friend who was also on the squad.
Oh,
so
okay.
and she's pregnant.
Dang.
So now he's got his ex-wife who he did love, and she died of cancer or something like that.
Yeah.
And then of course his new wife, which of course he loves, and they're having a kid, and now he doesn't know what to do with his life. Anyways, back to mummies.
Yeah. Yeah. Back to mummies. And then the other part too that I was thinking about that we kind of glazed over a little bit was, I think it would have a different outcome, especially if we're talking about now, do you just come out on your own or did somebody discover you? Right. And the way I would think that would be, well, then I don't think the whole mausoleum thing would work. You would have to be probably your whole cult scenario. Mm-hmm. It would be somewhere where someone was like, what's the structure? You know what I mean? Like, why does it look like things have been dug up or there's certain things under the ground?
Yeah, like someone's surveying, they're like, this this isn't supposed to be here. It's not in any of the plans. We didn't build this.
Yeah, exactly. Like, cue ominous music.
Yeah. Well, we should knock it down and make more room because we have more bodies coming in. Oh my God, there's a mummy down here. Yeah. Oh, he's alive.
The guy working the backhoe, digging up the dirt. He's like, hey, boss, come over here. Look what I found.
Right. Yeah. Here's a question. Do I thirst? Do I hunger?
Wow. You know what? I think that I don't think for me, especially like the way we were talking about like vampires last time, right? Last episode. I don't think it's like that for mummies. You know what I mean? Like in my, like just the way I see them.
They're just dry zombies. Is
right.
What they are.
Yeah. To me, it's kind of like, I always viewed them as like a more intelligent, dry zombie. Okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's exactly, that's a good way to put it. They're like a more intelligent dry zombie.
Gotcha.
With
sometimes with plague powers.
Yeah, but
hold on. Does Imhotep show any powers of plague besides the insects? I don't remember.
He did insect. I think he made some people get like
oh yeah, there was that. Yeah, boils. Yeah, man, I got some fucked up powers. My powers like cannot be used for good. They're only bad.
I know. Like even if you tried to like just. You wanted to defend yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
it'd be horrific to behold.
Because I don't think you're going to be able to control all that. You know what I mean? It's just going to affect everyone
here's
around you.
Here's a bunch of locusts, bro.
Yeah, like, just go attack that one guy. No, they're going to go
They're
out
a swarm.
Everywhere.
Yeah, they're exactly. A
plague. But it would be different if someone discovered you, especially because you said you're going to be pissed off, right? When they discover you and you're pissed off.
I'm going to be pissed once I figure everything out. Probably not immediately. Immediately, probably like, what the fuck's happening?
You might even think, though, that person was doing that to you.
Well, no. My point is like, I would need a minute to be like, look at myself, look at my surroundings. Where the fuck am I? I'm in the future. Oh my God, a mirror. My face is super fucked up. And then now I'm angry. It took all that to happen though.
But I'm saying like, somebody discovers you didn't push your sarcophagus open. All of a sudden your sarcophagus opens and you awaken to this person grabbing at your body. You don't know who this person is.
That's true. I'll be like, oh.
Yeah, right? Yeah. And then, but to them, you might be like fearful going like, oh, who are you?
Yeah.
But to them, they're probably like, look at this crazy ravenous mummy who's trying to kill me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sure, absolutely.
Man, that would definitely be.
I don't see a scenario where I don't get taken down by the government and experimented on in this one. Mm-hmm. This time it's the future government. Here's a question. Are they even speaking like understandable English to my ears? Or is it some sort of like weird future English where I only understand every other word?
I think you'd be able to understand. I do think there would be changes in probably
because I guarantee you if I talked to George Washington
a few hundred years,
it would be tough. We'd figure it out, but it'd be tough.
It may be tough. Like, well, I figured, you would, let's say if you were to talk to George Washington, you probably wouldn't have that much trouble understanding him. I don't think.
Yeah, that's true.
He would probably have a lot more trouble understanding you.
I think you're right.
So it'd probably be one of those. Yeah. It would probably be where they may be able to understand you. Yeah. Well, actually, no, you couldn't talk. You would have to absorb someone, kill them, and remember
back to the I can't talk thing.
Yeah.
So I see this going only one of 3 ways. One, I get killed. That's actually great. I like this one. That's good. It's over.
You'd be literally set free.
Yeah. Number 2, captured and experimented on. Maybe not treated so badly that I go berserk, but like I don't even know what they're going to learn from me. Like, are they going to be able to bring me back? I don't think so. Maybe Maybe they can, this is the far future, right? So maybe they can take some of my bodily remains, you know, get my genetic data, make a nice clone body for me, and then somehow transfer my consciousness via like microchip into this new body. Bam.
Yeah.
Nice.
I honestly believe that I look at that government scenario as like the more likely.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like, I don't know about the part about them making like a clone of your body and then transfer.
No, the experimentation. I don't know what they're even going to learn from this.
Well, I know exactly what they're going to try to learn from that. They're going to try to see they're going to think of you as immortal. You know what I mean? They're going to wonder, how are you able to do this? What is different about your body chemistry than others that allowed you to have
is this
happen,
the discovery of real magic?
Yeah, or exactly. Like, is this the first time out of what?
So,
how many millennia that we,
that they know of?
Yeah.
Third scenario, I get mistreated to the point of like enraging me. And now that I'm an enraged magical undead spirit, I mean, I'm gonna learn to hone these powers one way or another.
Yeah.
Like, I could see at some point my mind snaps and I go berserk, kill the aide, rip out his, and, you know, I'm thinking instinctually like, I'm gonna eat these body parts, right? I'm a horror monster. This is what I do. And then I become Emotep 2.0. Yeah. The real deal. And time to conquer this future land. Let's go. Like fuck it. Like, I don't have a cool mummy name. My name's William. Like, it's not as, you know, I don't know. I could go, you know, my middle name's Alexander. So I could be Alexander, you know, the new the next Emperor Alexander.
Emperor Alexander.
The actually great. No, the first one was pretty great. But yeah, time for Emperor Alexander to take over these fucking lands. Cause fuck y'all.
Dude, seriously. But dude, could you imagine?
This just in, a new study suggests leaving an Apple Podcast review is very important for a newly created podcast. So please don't forget to leave an Apple Podcast review. In financial news, Patreon supporters are among the most appreciated in the podcast industry. You can support the DCYI team by heading over to patreon.com/dudecouldyouimagine. This has been Fritz Frivolous, reminding you to like, comment, and subscribe. Will and Tom, back to you. Honey, I'm home. I bought those chips you like to snack on. You know, the ones you can put on the end of your fingers and pretend they're your fingernails. Honey? That's strange. Babe, why is my favorite recliner torn to pieces? What the? And why are the curtains ripped apart? And the laundry is all tattered. Honey? Is that you? You're a werewolf. That's so hot.
And we're back.
Indeed.
Well, this one is going to involve someone you love.
Oh, no.
This one is going to be involving not yourself, but someone that you hold dear to your own. And the question is, what if you discovered your significant other or loved one, someone that you hold very dear to yourself, is a werewolf?
Well, it would definitely be my sister. If anyone's a werewolf in my life, it's definitely me.
Okay. You know what? I did not actually think that you were going to pick someone, but that's good. That's good. Okay. So let's say if your sister was a werewolf, that's
it would have to be recently she turned, because I think she would have told me by now for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's true.
So
real quick, out of everyone, the questions I've asked you where I said, who would you tell? And out of all the people the number one person you would always say everything to was your sister.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, she better tell you.
Oh yeah, this. She would tell me.
But before you answer, let's actually go over to some Fritz facts.
Okay, yeah, let's hear it.
Fritz facts.
So, a werewolf in folklore, or occasionally called a lycanthrope, is a human with the ability to shapeshift into a wolf, either purposely or after being placed under a curse or affliction. And it does say that this could mean a bite or a scratch from another werewolf.
Okay. So is she straight turning into? Okay, well, you finish your facts, and then I'll get my parameters.
With the transformations occurring on the night of a full moon. Early sources for belief in this ability or affliction, called lycanthropy, are Petronius and Gervase of Tilbury, who was, I guess, born 1150 and died 1228. So basically, a lot of the werewolf folklore is European based.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of different variations and stuff, and a lot of it came over to the into our country, North America, through colonial times, where they did, the Salem witch trials, all the time with the witch stories and stuff. That came out of those two. Werewolves were kind of around the same time. People kind of believed in the same thing. They would have, the witch trials. Well, they would also do things like that, but for people they thought were werewolves.
Interesting.
Right.
Okay.
In Europe, actually, in I think what is now Switzerland, they actually did have big trials in the early 15th century and spread throughout Europe in the 16th. Where they would go and hunt people that claimed, that guy's a werewolf, or whatever. And, just like the witches, there's no real way, it's not true, but there's no way to prove that you're not. They just believe you are.
Right.
Yeah.
That's horrifying. Anything else on werewolves before I ask my first
No,
one?
I mean, not anything. I just want the audience to know.
So what kind of werewolf is she? Like, what's happening to her?
So the funny thing is too, actually, there is one more thing then, because in the facts I did, werewolf translates to man-wolf, right? Yeah. Which gives, in my opinion, gives me one picture in my head.
Okay.
But lycanthrope is actually wolf-human, which makes me think of it in another way in my head, another image, right?
Oh,
like
okay.
Wolf-human to me, I see more of a wolf with maybe a body structure that can kind of be like, maybe you could be a little bipedal, right? Man wolf to me makes it like you look like a man, but you're maybe a little just more hairier and like, maybe you have claws, but you don't have the structures of like a wolf.
I didn't think about it in that way. A werewolf is just a werewolf to me. My question is like, what kind of werewolf? Like underworld style?
Oh, like you want like a movie reference?
The Wolfman style? That's the shittiest style right there. That's the worst one.
Yeah, you know what? It's more of like, I would say, I think it's like a cross between the type of werewolf that you saw in Harry Potter.
Okay.
Right? That and the Wolfman, like the classic.
That lands me back in Underworld.
Well, in the Underworld one, if I remember correctly, aren't they kind of intelligent and they're like, they can talk when they're like that? Don't they like...
I don't know if they talk, but I mean, they're intelligent to a certain degree. They're a bit more feral, but like they're in control of their actions.
Oh, okay. See, when I think of werewolf, I don't think they're control of their actions. I think they're a wild beast. They're going,
that's a more ancient like take on it. Like I think more contemporarily, like there's a little bit more of like the human still in them.
Oh no, I don't see it like that.
Okay.
Yeah. No, your sister. Okay, so if you want the answer, then no, your sister is the more classic.
So on a full moon, she turns into a wolf monster and kills people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She goes out on the hunt.
And how long has this been happening, and when did it happen? Did she get bit by a monster?
So, your sister like to camp?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean,
but she likes to travel, right?
She doesn't not like to camp.
She likes to travel?
Yeah, she travels a lot.
So in one of her travels, she came across someone else who was also a werewolf.
Were they a werewolf at the time?
Yeah, well, when she first met them.
No, I mean, like, were they in werewolf form at the time, or were they just a person?
They were a person when they met.
Okay.
She didn't know this person was going to turn into that, and then they transformed.
Okay.
Bit her, and then now.
Okay, well, I mean,
this was, let's say this was about 5 years ago. Okay. So there's been quite a few full moons, since.
Yes.
Yeah.
My question is, I think full moon's lasts 3 days? Is that 3 nights?
Roughly,
something like that. So this is only happening on full moons, right? That she's transforming and going berserk?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, the answer is we got to find like the extremely heavy duty chains and just get her set up. Maybe we can rent out like a warehouse area. Would
this be like, okay, this is like she's coming out to you.
Yeah.
So this is your first thing that you're going to.
Well, at first I'm not going to believe her, but then I mean,
that is true, right?
But like we're fast forwarding past that part.
Oh, okay.
Where somehow she proves it to me.
Well, now that you picked like a specific person that was your sister, I kind of wonder, how do you think your sister would tell you? Like, would she just blurt it out?
She would probably be like, "Okay, I got something to tell you," and I'll be like, "What? What's up, dude?" And then she'd be like. she would be, I know this is going to sound crazy, but you have to believe me. And then she would probably just say that she's a werewolf and be like, what the fuck are you talking about is what I would say.
Yeah. Like
And
probably
then,
no matter what
Then
says,
she
you
would
wouldn't
probably
believe it.
explain to me like the night she got bit by a fucking crazed wolf monster. And then, she could probably show me the scar or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then she could be like, yeah, and like 2 weeks ago or last week or 3 days ago or last night, whatever, like, I don't remember what the fuck happened, but when I woke up, my whole room was torn to pieces.
Oh, okay.
And I'd be like, okay, well, I think the first thing that we would do is like, okay, well, was it a full moon? And if the answer is yes, and let's say this is the first time. Is this the first time?
Yeah, let's say this is I want to know,
Okay, so
if you would believe her.
Then the next thing we
that.
need to do, well, yeah, at this point I'm like, okay, that's weird. I'm thinking like she went crazy and like in her sleep, maybe she had crazy, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what I believe.
No, yeah. No,
but my idea here is like, all right,
a...
this next night, when you go to sleep, set up a camera, and you know what? And we'll see if something happens. And of course, it would, because it would still be a full moon, so she would turn into a wolf monster, go out in the night, probably kill some people. Oops. I mean, nothing I could do about that. Like, we didn't know.
Yeah, just to find out, for scientific research. Oops.
Like, I had no way of knowing, and she has no control of her faculties.
Okay, so, Ed, the neighbor, is dead.
So at that point, it's like, okay, well, we need to figure this out, but like what we need to do more so than everything is like full moons, we got to get you on lockdown. Mm-hmm. And like, I don't know how strong this werewolf is, but I'm pretty sure if we got super heavy duty iron chain links and like triple chained her to a fucking steel pole in like a concrete warehouse that we rent out once a weekend for a month, we could probably keep her trapped. Not necessarily keep her from getting caught, although like we'd probably be safe-ish, but you keep doing that, eventually someone's going to hear a rabid monster.
Yeah, I was going to say it'd probably be pretty, especially since she would also howl, and you know how loud those sounds carry on for miles.
Yeah. So I think after we figure that part out, it's a matter of looking for a cure.
Yeah.
We would have to do research through all the folklore, anything we could find. Like, we'd have to become experts. Like, we'd have to go digging through ancient files. We'd have to fly. There's a library in London. It's like the oldest library in the world. It's got millions and millions of books that date back hundreds and hundreds of years. We'd go digging through those files, like, see what they got out there.
You always have this knack of like being able to, because my little question after you said like we would have to research, I was gonna ask you, where do you think you would go to and now you're like, well, there's this one library, and like
I can't remember the name of it. I think it's the Royal Library or something like that. And I mean, they keep old books down there. And so like, we'd have to do that. We'd have to dedicate our lives. We'd have to talk to like also crazy people who believe in this shit.
I know, because that would be hard to try to pinpoint someone who's the quote unquote world's authority on,
Now, my worry actually is this, like, if werewolves are real, then werewolf hunters might be real. And next thing you know, all of our stuff, maybe the Van Helsing of this fucking world got the guy who got her, and now he knows she exists, and now he's coming for us.
That's true.
And we're just trying to find a cure, you know what I mean?
Like if werewolves exist, there probably are people who
we'll probably have to do tests too. Like, is she allergic to silver now?
Yeah.
Whatever, is that the only weakness they have is silver?
Yeah, the major weakness I believe was silver.
Okay, so
excuse me.
And if she is she?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Like, is it like if I take, let's say I have a blade of silver, or just a bar of silver. If I place it on her skin, does it start to sizzle?
Not sizzle, but it will start to become a very heavy rash. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to bother her skin. It's not going to sizzle, but you know what I do feel like when they talk about werewolves having this affliction to silver is like
an allergic reaction.
And if like you were to, let's say, cut her with it, that wound is not going to heal.
For a while, or just ever?
Probably for a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's pretty important that I'm trying to think, is there a way to like, what if I had like a net lined with silver? Obviously this would be very expensive, but let's say it's a heavy metal net lined with silver, right? Somehow something happens where we get caught in a situation where she's not chained up for the full moon.
Okay.
And like she transforms or something happens. It's like, well, I pull out this big heavy net of silver and get it all over her and get her down to the ground. Is that going to hold her down?
Is there anything holding the net?
Maybe
down?
not right away.
It's not. I doubt it'll hold her down unless it's like extremely heavy. But then how would you throw it?
My point is like her pressing against it to throw it off her would cause more pain. If it wouldn't work, that's fine.
Yeah. No. It would cause her pain, but it wouldn't be like what you're thinking.
I think, in that case, I got to get a gun with some silver bullets to try and like demobilize her if she turns. You know what I mean?
I was thinking of maybe trying to see how much tranquilizer you would need. And maybe before she turned, I would think
that's
like
a good idea.
Trying to see
I
if
like
you could
that
tranquilize
idea.
her.
But it's like how am I going to get my hands on some tranquilizer?
The only that would be one. Yeah, that would be one.
That's
probably somehow get it, but that would be one drawback is first getting it.
Yeah,
I think the major.
And if we're flying to London, it's going to be tough. You know, silver bullets or gun or anything, we won't be able to get any of it over. So I might have to go by myself.
Yeah. If you did that kind of travel, you probably would want to anyway. You know what I mean? Or at least track the moon, the phases of the moon, so you know that this is not going to be a full moon night. Or
maybe we're going for 2 weeks. Watch, we go for 2 weeks and then like something happens and we're stuck for another 2 weeks.
And that's usually what happens.
And
that could happen too. Okay. But the other drawback with the tranquilizer thing isn't it where if you use too much, can't they die? Right? That's what I think. That
sounds right.
So you would have to, experiment, because the problem is the best scenario of using this tranquilizer on your sister. Oh my God, this sounds so bad. It's like you would want to use it on her before she changes. Right. And that's the problem. How much can you use then without it affecting her? Like, without killing her?
Well, I think for the experimentation process, we'd wait until she transformed, and then I'd hit her with the dart, see how it goes. Give her an hour, hit her with 2 darts. Go from there.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'm gonna go to tranquilizer route. I think it's like I don't need something that what if I find the right dosage, but like it takes 10 minutes. Well, then I'm already eaten. You know what I mean? I need something where I can shoot her in the fucking knee, and like she goes down, and then I can lock her down and we could go to the hospital tomorrow.
Yeah.
But anyways, and it's just a matter of finding a cure, and hopefully since werewolves are real, maybe there's real people with actual real knowledge that can help. You know what I mean?
I know, you would hope so, because this is another government problem that's gonna arise.
There's no way. I'm sorry, if werewolves are real, there's no way I don't think the government would already know about them. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but they're probably coming after. Well, see, that's the thing too. The two major things of having somebody that you are trying to help with the affliction of becoming a werewolf would be, one, keeping it a secret, because that's going to be really hard.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then, because if you can't and you mess up one, 2 times and the story gets out there, the government's probably going to be, it's going to be easy for them to find you.
I just had this idea for like almost like a bad movie idea where it's like, she gets turned, blah, blah, blah. The government comes in and there's actually like a division that handles this type of shit. And, they're like, we gotta take her. We gotta imprison her. She's a danger to blah, 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 blah. I'm just like, we gotta find, can you cure her? Blah. It's like, we can't find it. We haven't found a cure yet. There is no cure. And then I'm like, well, I want to do something like, how can I help? Can I join you guys? Can I join up? And next thing you know, now I'm becoming an agent for the super paranormal investigators, trying to find a cure for my sister they're keeping imprisoned underneath the Pentagon.
And only you're able to visit her every once in a while, and you see her.
Like, I hang out with her all the time, but like, she's down there. There's nothing I can do. Anyways, that's basically it though.
You know what's going to be the heartbreaking moment of that film?
Oh, what?
Is when your sister starts asking you, so how many other of my kind are you capturing out there?
Oh,
you know what I mean?
God.
And she starts to telling you, like, you must help them, Will. Don't capture them. Look what they're doing to me.
Yeah. Well, if obviously they're torturing her, I'm going to try and break her out. But, that's basically it. It's contain her, do research, and try to find a cure.
And those are all really good things to do if somebody is a werewolf. But I want to ask, you did pick your sister. Would any of this change of how you're treating her if this was your fiance?
I don't think so.
Like, you would still do the whole chaining and like maybe
she's gonna eat the kids. Yeah, I have to.
Let me ask you this: what if now you find out that your fiance is a werewolf? she's ashamed. She didn't want to tell you, right?
Okay.
Now you have your son together with her, and
my question is, what's she been doing? What has she been doing all this time? Obviously, she's figured it out.
Mm-hmm. Well, she makes sure she comes back home before you get home from your work.
But why has the apartment never been torn up? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, she's figured out some sort of system.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, cool.
That's true.
I'd want to know what her system is. And then I'd be super curious, obviously trying to get her cured.
Yeah.
If my son's a half werewolf, well, then we got to figure something out for him. But I don't think he is. He's the calmest baby ever born.
Now watch you go home and you're gonna hold your son and he's just gonna make like this ow noise and you're gonna be like,
well, it's funny, his little gibberish saying, he does say ow a lot.
Oh really?
He does. He goes ow ow, and I'm like, that could be a howl.
Yeah. See, you never know. But dude, could you imagine?
Halloween Fright Night Fight Night.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the ringside with me and Will for Fright Night Fight Night. This is a new segment. This is going to be a new segment for our Halloween episodes. And basically how it works is we have 22 of what we felt are like the most recognizable, what would you call them?
Horror monsters.
Horror monsters.
Yeah. We have 22 horror monster contestants.
Yeah.
Pitting
22
against each other.
Horror monster contestants. I love that. Okay. And Will's going to be picking a number by random. Each one of these horror monsters have a number assigned to them. And basically what we're going to do is randomly assign two numbers and they're going to versus each other. And probably just within 5 minutes, just off the fly, me and Will try to decipher who we think would win.
How many are we doing? Are we doing one?
Let's do two for tonight.
Two for tonight. Okay. Mm-hmm. Are you ready for our first fight? So our first contestant is number 22.
And in this corner, we have the Graboid.
Oh, the Graboid from Tremors. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. You're going to have to explain.
You've never seen Tremors?
I have never seen Tremors.
Damn it, Tom.
Why is that like a super
It's a
awesome
cult classic, hilarious, kind of horror, but mostly hilarious movie.
I do remember seeing I've seen references to it.
Sure.
But
sure you have.
Okay.
Next, in the other corner, we have number 5.
Ooh. Ghostface.
Who's Ghostface?
Ghostface from
Scream. All right, it's got to be Graboid.
Yeah,
Graboid got some.
All the way.
Yeah, Scream's going to be going around the neighborhood trying to stab people, and Graboid's just going to I guess burrow. That's the word. Burrow right underneath him and suck him under the ground and eat him.
This is how I envision
Graboid versus Ghostface.
This is how I envision it. Ghostface is going to be doing his stupid pranks, right? He's going to be calling some cheerleader's house or some shit, right? He's going to be like, hello? Yes. I'm looking at you right now. And then all of a sudden he's going to hear underneath the ground.
What is that?
Yeah. Like, hold on. What's moving around here? And then boom, from under his feet, Graboid's gonna suck him down
Exactly.
in. And since he's literally just a stupid human killer,
in a mask.
In a mask.
He's got no supernatural powers. He's done for.
Okay, this is what I did. I did want to know this though. The Graboids.
Yes.
Do they have teeth?
Oh
okay,
so
it's
teeth.
like
Hold on, I'm gonna pull up a picture of one, but you keep talking.
Because if I remember right, like I said, I did see references to this movie, even though I haven't seen it. Isn't it like the teeth of that monster that Boba Fett gets thrown into?
Oh, you know what? They don't really have
circular
teeth. They have a beak and a bunch of
Oh, it's a beak.
Yeah, so that's a Graboid.
Oh,
yeah, they're like spiked worms with like a beak and tentacle tongues that come out. I think those tentacle tongues do have teeth, though. Yeah.
Okay.
If you look close, they have teeth, kind of like alien.
So he is getting chomped.
Oh yeah, he's fucked.
He's like, okay,
he's absolutely fucked. And you know what? Honestly, this Graboid just saved lives.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, you know what? That is true. Well,
this Graboid's a fucking hero.
It saved some lives, but probably it's going to eat the others.
Yeah, no,
that's
absolutely true.
You know, because I just had this vision in my head. I wanted to know if the Graboid didn't have teeth. I just found it funny picturing Ghostface sucked into this Graboid's stomach, and he's just in there with his costume.
Yeah,
can't move. You know, he's getting digested by the juices,
and that's exactly what would happen.
Oh my god. Okay, let's go
on to another round.
Let's go on to our next round.
You know what? We should do this tourney style. Graboid just made it to the next round.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if we have enough time to do all this, but
we'll do it.
Okay. Yeah. So in our next matchup, we have number 10.
Oh, Frankenstein's monster.
Okay, that's a very
classic.
Very classic. Versus Number 3.
Michael Myers.
Oh, Frankenstein's monster.
Frankenstein's monster.
Okay, hold on. So Frankenstein's monster has Michael Myers in strength, bar none.
Oh, yeah.
But Frankenstein's monster can die, right?
I mean...
Because Mike Myers, I don't think he can die. Like, my thing is this. Like, Mike Myers will probably keep coming after Frankenstein's monster because he's fucking relentless. He's Mike Myers.
Yeah.
And Frankenstein would probably like snap his neck and defeat him many times. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't matter how many times because eventually Mike Myers is gonna get him on a bad day. And I think he's gonna chop his head off.
Now, here's the thing. Yeah, okay, I can see what you're saying because the intelligence level, like Michael Myers versus...
It's slightly more than Frankenstein. I don't think he's that intelligent. He's pretty laser
but he's
focused.
going to be more than Frankenstein.
At least at first. I don't know if Frankenstein's monster gets any smarter. Have you ever seen Penny Dreadful?
Oh, yes, I have seen
It's a good show. Frankenstein's monster in that is very eloquent.
That's true. I'm thinking of the classic, black and white Frankenstein. Oh, fire bad,
right, sure.
Like that kind of way,
Sure.
But because I'm thinking too, if I remember correctly, I always thought Michael Myers wasn't on a quote unquote, let's say Jason Voorhees level, where Jason Voorhees, the only way to really kill him is to drown him back in Crystal Lake or something like that, right? Other than that,
Michael Myers is worse than that.
But I thought Michael Myers was he was just a insane, sociopath killer.
He is, and there's nothing supernatural about him until they start like very actively killing him, and he would just keep coming back anyways.
Oh,
and there's no actual with Jason, there's the Crystal Lake. With Freddy Krueger, I don't remember what his weakness is.
His, basically, to my understanding, it's like just not be afraid of him. Which I know that sounds simple, but that's.
So with Mike Myers, I just think he's relentless, and I think just through sheer tenacity, I think Mike Myers wins this.
Yeah, he does have more speed too than Frankenstein's monster. Yeah. And I guess it all depends though as well. Can Frankenstein's monster be killed? I know he doesn't like fire.
I'm pretty sure he dies in the book.
Okay. So yeah, you know what? We were almost quick to judge. Yeah. We were almost going to say Frankenstein's monster.
I think Michael Myers takes this one.
Strength doesn't always prevail.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, Michael Myers, I really feel like he would too.
All right, Frankenstein's monster is eliminated. Want to do one more?
Yeah, you know what? One more.
Okay. We already did number 5, so our first contestant we already did number 22. First contestant is number 13.
Number 13. Oh, Leatherface.
Versus number 8.
The Wolfman. Wow, how fitting. Okay, we just talked about the Wolfman.
We did. I just got... What's Leatherface's deal?
Leatherface is...
a chainsaw.
He was, your basic, I'm going to chop off your skin and wear it and, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't think he was anything real paranormal. I think he was just a sick
tough guy
fuck.
with a chainsaw.
Yeah, he was just a sick guy who, what I mean? You wander into his, nasty... It's like that town. Remember the story that you had to run into?
Like the story
the guy was trying to feed you a human steak.
Okay, gotcha. And then the Wolfman is essentially a werewolf, but he's kind of like a shitty werewolf, right?
Yeah, the Wolfman was
more man than wolf.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't the beast I was describing earlier.
What's the intelligence level of Wolfman?
Wolfman's intelligence level is low. I feel that he's not going to be...
Isn't Leatherface's low, or is he clever?
Leatherface is clever.
Oh,
and because he's going to
fucked.
lay out traps for you.
Yeah. And let's, we could even put them in Wolfman's territory, which I'm guessing is the woods. Mm-hmm. Well, Leatherface has a chainsaw. He can weaponize trees at this point.
I was going to say there's one key thing to this fight is if Leatherface gets his chainsaw. Of course
he does.
And of course he does. And there's no way the Wolfman's going to be able to get him when he has his chainsaw.
Yeah, I think Leatherface wins.
Yeah, Leatherface beats out Wolfman.
Okay. One more?
If you want to keep going forward.
Well, it's just remember we got to do round 2. So
you're right.
We've gotten 6 down to 3, so we'll do one more.
One more. Yeah.
Okay, because I think we can finish this by the end of October at this rate. Final one.
Number
2.
Oh, Jason Voorhees
versus number 10. We didn't do 10 already. Did we?
We did number 10.
We did 10. Mm-hmm. 6. Number 6.
Oh, wow, this is going to be... Okay.
Is it Freddy versus Jason?
No,
okay.
that would have been funny.
Yeah.
That would have been funny. No, this is Jason Voorhees versus the girl from Exorcist. Do you remember her name?
Yeah, Reagan. Reagan was the name of the
that's right.
girl. I don't remember the name of the entity that got her. But okay, so she's possessed.
So she's possessed by
By a demon, an actual demon. She has levitation powers.
Powers. She has projectile vomit powers.
That's a real fucking power right there. She is super strong.
Yeah, that is true.
She can make things really cold. Can she levitate other things that aren't herself? I don't remember.
Yeah, I thought that she kind of didn't she throw something with her like with her mind or whatever at the priest.
She has the devil on her side. That's something.
I think one key factor is going to be, can this demon, now we're talking about, technically this is two fighters, right? Or two characters, because they're one was within the other,
in one vessel,
the other. Can this demon come out and possess Jason?
I don't think so. I
mean, is Jason, is technically Jason already possessed?
I think so. I think there's something there too. There's something supernatural with both of them.
Yeah.
Jason can only be drowned in Crystal Lake. Mm-hmm. We don't know enough about Reagan and if she can be killed.
Now, I know, and here's the thing. Intelligence level, Reagan and the demon, they have Jason beat.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't view Jason as having any real intelligence.
Because I forgot. We're literally pitting them against each other. So, Exorcist, girl, Reagan, demon, wants to defeat Jason actively. And Jason's coming for her.
Yeah.
So I think Reagan's gonna outsmart Jason.
Now it would have to be that because if Jason gets a hold of this girl, hacks her to bits or whatever, that's the end for this demon as well. He's no longer being able to possess this girl.
Yeah. So that's the main thing is like this exorcist girl has to make sure that Jason doesn't back her in a corner. Because that's when Jason wins. Because again, once the body is destroyed, she's got nothing. It's got nothing to control.
Not to mention the fact that if this fight is not taking place anywhere near Crystal Lake, well, what can they do?
Here's the question: doesn't Jason always come out of Crystal Lake?
Yeah, he does.
Okay,
yeah.
So it has to take place near Crystal Lake because it would be really weird if he comes out and he travels across the United States for Reagan.
I can see him getting.
So my scenario. This is my scenario.
Are you Jason?
Reagan and her mom go on a camping trip. Right after the first Exorcist happens. They think they got rid of the demon. Joke's on them. It was all a ruse.
Yep.
They get to the cabin by the lake at Crystal Lake. And the demon strikes again.
Yep.
And this time the mom's a goner because there's no one there to protect her. And he ain't going through the Exorcist shit again.
Yeah.
Reagan kills her own mom in Exorcist form. That
would be cool if Jason kills her mom.
Well, hold on. Let me finish my movement. Yeah, you're right. And then in some sort of weird divine retribution, Jason emerges. He smells someone else on his turf, and now they have to duke it out. And I think
I'm liking this.
I think my vote goes towards Reagan because I think Reagan's going to figure out that Jason's afraid of water.
Yeah.
And there's a big fucking lake next to them. I think the supernatural powers, the higher intelligence level, the more connivingness, probably, the thousands of years of being an alive entity is going to give secret knowledge. And I think Reagan wins.
Not to mention the fact, you're right. Cause like this demon is probably talking to other demons in the underworld, knowing about Jason. Like, hey, what do you know about this guy?
Yeah. You're that Jason dude. You're that Jason loser.
He's that guy. He's like, I know what's going to get him. Right. You're right.
So
I like that.
I go with Exorcist Girl wins.
I totally agree. And I like the scenario.
All right. So we have done 4 of what I think are, Wait a minute. There's 20, right? 22. So there's going to be 10 in the first round, 22. So that's 11 in the first round. Mm-hmm. And we've done 4 matchups.
Yeah.
So we'll do 4 matchups next time.
Okay.
We'll do as many as it takes to get a winner.
Yeah.
But
But join us next time for Fright Night Fight Night.
Halloween Fright Night Fight Night.
I'm walking here.
And now, let's join Will and Tom with the traffic report.
And it's Will and Tom with the traffic report. Will, we have another 5-star Apple podcast review.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And it's from Ronnie.
Thank you, Ronnie.
My buddy Ronnie. He writes, the title of this review is Most Entertaining Podcast. And he writes, Will and Tom complement each other so well. It's a great listen and super informative. Keep it up, gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Ronnie. We appreciate it. Thank you for the 5-star review.
We do appreciate it, Ronnie. And believe you me, we will keep it up. I also want to switch over to our YouTube. We had, we had our friend Sasha Titus, who's commented before, and on here she makes a reference for the episode 30 Stuck in Sasquatchville. Mm-hmm. She says, OMG, Will, what podcast did you hear about the Emu War from? I need to listen to this.
Oh, yeah, it's from Time Suck, which is like a comedy history information podcast. Oh man, that's a tough podcast to describe. Essentially, it's a comedian named Dan Cummins who basically tackles a subject, and him and his research team, whether it's history or a true crime or an organization, whatever the subject matter is, they get into it and they do a thorough investigation, and it's really funny. And he calls it sucking the shit out of a subject, and it's called Time Suck. Anyways, good podcast. That's where you can go to. And the title is the Great Emu War.
Yeah, and to be honest, Will's been turning me onto this podcast. It's something I'm going to start listening to as well.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
She also comments on the other half of that same episode where we're talking about if you were sucked into the last movie or TV show or book you read or whatever, how messed up would it be? Mm-hmm. And so far the consensus seems to be that we'll all be fucked. Yeah. And so will Sasha, because Sasha says, so yeah, I'm either in a murder mystery, the movie Agatha Christie's Crooked House, a dystopian murder game, which show Alice in Borderland, or a pandemic apocalypse, which was a book called The Stand. And she ends it with,
oh, The Stand's a rough one.
Yeah, it must be, because she ends that with fuck.
Yeah, that's like the end of the world, the apocalypse type shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm, a lot of my friends too, when I ask them that question, everyone seems to be messed up.
I mean, that's not really that surprising. Like, the things we watch tend to be stuff with heavy conflict, for the drama and the action of it all, which, danger is a big part of that. So, we don't tend to watch the super boring stuff, there's soap operas, but I mean, those things suck. So.
I guess you would have to, it all depends on when you're just somehow asked that question when you just happen to, the last thing you watched was like, oh, I watched this cute fluffy puppy video just on YouTube or something.
Exactly. I'd have to catch you on something like that, something really positive.
Yeah, but thank you very much for commenting, Sasha. We really do appreciate that.
And that is all we have for you tonight. We will continue to bring you up-to-date coverage as new imaginings develop. Please don't forget, you could join our Patreon at patreon.com/dudecouldyouimagine. Another way to support our podcast is by leaving an Apple Podcast review. You can subscribe to us on Instagram at dude_couldYouImagine, on Twitter at DCYimagine, and on our YouTube channel, where you can leave a like and a comment. If you would like to contact us with what you are imagining, you can email us at dudecouldyouimagine@gmail.com. This has been Fritz Frivolous, and from all of us here at Dude Could You Imagine, keep on imagining.
Yeah, I think that was pretty funny. That was a funny one.
God damn it.
I was like thinking in my head too, I was like, how is this really going to go?
Yeah.
Because I was trying to think of it more along the lines of being serious. Uh-huh. But then when we started talking about it, I was like, no, fuck this.
Is ridiculous.
This is just ridiculous. Just have fun with this.
Super ridiculous, yeah.